we're actually in danger and we're enjoying the view. That's very funny.
I've been searching for a piece of me. I've been counting on the hands of time to draw you. I love my body, I love my mind, with desire to draw you. Out of place, out of space, floating higher.
Feathers been calling, my enemies stalling, my people been balling, my team we been balling.
Hello everybody, welcome to this video. So yeah, there is no captaincy in this case. Aww. We're going to be doing a very different video. So my focus in this video will be just to do a proper way of starting off an aircraft. And if you follow these procedures, it works on any aircraft. I call it GAE. Please don't try to pronounce it, it sounds like something else.
Should I call you Mister?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
What do you mean by that?
But anyways, so I would like to call it GI and not call it you know what.
My nigga. You are gay.
Anyways, that being said, now what makes up this procedure? So the G initially means ground power, right? G for ground, so ground power goes for the G, and then the A is APU, and the last E is engines, right? So they are actually in startup orders. So you're going to first of all bring on the ground power unit before the APU and then the engines. That's the proper way to start up any aircraft. So you cannot go from engine to ground power unit. You can only go from ground power units down to engine. So ground power units, APU, then engine. But before we get into that procedure, let's put lights in this aircraft. How do we do that? We do that by turning on the batteries, which you just saw came on. All right, so now that being said, there is a little bit of alignment here, which is bringing the IRS. So this is what we call the IRS. What that does is kind of help the aircraft to understand its situation in the world. All right, more like its position in the world. All right, so your damper helps to kind of moderates how an aircraft rolls, if that makes any sense. Like what the rudders apply, your damper kind of stabilizes it a bit. So we're going to turn on ground power units now. So on aerofly, ground power unit stays on as long as parking brake is on, right? So in MSFS, you have to actually request for ground power units, maybe via your tab or the FMC or the ATC services, right? So let's go ahead. I'll push this down and ground power unit comes on. Now there's something called hydraulics, which you can turn on by flicking these switches. So those are hydraulics for the APU. The other ones are for the engines. So when the engine comes on, those low pressure you can see right now will go off. Now that being said, my next touch would be the window heats. So those are right here and there, and then the probe heats, which are down here. I believe the yaw damper should come on now. All right, so those are fixed. Like I said, so we've done ground power units, right? Now we're going to turn on APU. So we're flicking this switch right here, which is actually very realistic. Now that will actually bring on the APU, and then we'll turn on the APU generators to actually apply electricity to the aircraft, so then we can turn off the ground power unit. That being said, let's bring up all the necessary fuel pumps here. So as you can see, I turned on everything. Those are very essential in real life, right? And the next thing here that I would like to do is turn on, honestly, the only light that is very essential to turn on is your anti-collision light, which is actually the beacon light. So I like to turn that off, and I like to turn on the logo light. The logo light is that light you have on the tail. You see the light showing like something off on the tail of the aircraft. So as you can see right now, right here we have right where it says APU on off bus, right? You can actually see that before it was just 2 lights, now it's 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to flick these switches here and then the one on the other side as well. Now because we have done that, it means we're now taking electricity from the APU, right? So then we can go ahead and turn off ground power unit. If you follow these procedures, you'll be fine. Now we're going to turn on APU bleeds, which is here. If you don't turn on APU bleeds, you can't bring up the engines, right? So those are the APU bleeds. Now originally you have to actually turn off the ACs as well. Let's bring this on. You have to turn off the ACs before you can bring on the engine in a real life aircraft and in MSFS. I don't know about X-plane, right? I've never had my hands on X-plane, but on aerofly it doesn't matter. So we're going to do this for teaching sake. Now that being said, let's go ahead. Usually this would be here, right? So we'll kind of switch this to this side, which means, ooh, look at that KLM landing. So which means we can turn this engine number 1 to ground. That's the like switch for engine number 1 right there. So we turn it to ground. We come down here. You can actually hear the engine number 1 kind of firing up. So wait a bit. When it indicates when it gets to this 2, you can see here that 2 there. When it gets there, we're going to add the more like cut on now, since it's the cut off button. So we're going to flick it off to on to add fuel to the engines, and that will actually bring the engines on. But before then, I like to set my flaps. So I'm going to do, it's on 0 now, I'm going to do 5. So 1, 2 and 5 right there. And then we can come to the FMC and kind of check our flight plan and everything. So if you look at the FMC right here, you will notice that the flight plan is not showing on our nav system, and that is because we are yet to insert the position of the aircraft on the FMC, which is why we turned on the IRS before. If you don't turn on the IRS, you can't get to this point, right? So I'm going to click on this to copy that down there, and I'm going to click on here to paste it. Now you can actually see our flight plan, right? Now if it doesn't look very clear to you, it doesn't for me. I don't like it like this, so I like to like enlarge it from this button. It's exactly the same on MSFS. So now you can actually see you can see the runway, and you can see how the flight plan goes to the side from there. All right, that being said, we can see the engines are ready now. So what we're going to have to do now is turn on engine number 2 first. All right, number 2 first before number 1. I'm sure some of you already know that. Okay, so that being said, what else is there to do? What else is there to do? Okay, so now we check our flight plan while we wait for that. So when the engines are ready, it is going to get to 20. Now it's at 18, 19, 20, 21. So the moment it got to 20, I think about 19 to 20, you're going to actually hear a click, which will bring that switch on top back to the initial position. So if we go up now, we look at it, you see that it is back to the initial position, as you can see right here. So what I'm going to do is, again, flick this engine start to the other side and bring this button now to this part, right? Now we're going, now this is the start up for engine number 1 now, right? What we did was engine number 2. This is the startup for engine number 1. As you can see here, it is spooling up. So yeah, let's check on our flight plan. Let's see what we have there. So we're going to go to legs. When we go to legs, we can see our runway is 05 right. These are the flight plan right here. So our runway is 05 right, which is the runway we're going to be landing. So if you come to departures and approach and you click on departures, you're going to actually see the runway you're taking off from, which is runway 24, right? Now if we go back to departures and approach and you click on approach, you're going to see the runway you're supposed to land on, and as you can see it has ILS, so that is ILS runway 05 right. So everything there is fine, and I am sure you had the click also, so that is telling you that you can bring the fuel to engine number 1 also. So when that engine is ready, you're going to also see it get to about 20, and this click right here is going to come to the same position as this one right here. All right, so let's look forward to, yeah, you can see that just happened, right? So yeah, that is that about that. Now that the engines are on, we have to turn off the APU. Now how do we do that? First of all, you turn this off. Hold on. First of all, you turn this one on, and then the APU is going to be showing you that it is still on. Now you're going to turn that off from here. That's it with startup. So the next thing to do right now is turn on the air conditions, which is left park and right park. So those are the air conditions. I like to turn on seatbelt sign as well, and no smoking sign, and turn off emergency exit light like so. I turn on cabin utilities as well. For some reason that one is already on by itself. Anyways, yeah, this is the procedure you use for starting up a 737, any 737 to be honest, from the 737-100 all the way to the max, same procedure. Now that being said, we can click on this place to see if we have any problem, and no, we don't. So we're going to turn off caution light as well. Now we're going to now let's mind our, so the reason we have all these boxes here is we can add a flight plan. So we are in a Jet 273-800, so we can just say Jet 2, or we can just say J2737, and we can add that here. Now that is now our call sign. So if we're going to be communicating in, like, say this is MSFS or X-plane, if we're going to be communicating with ATC, that is the call sign we're going to use. We're going to be saying Juliet 2737, and then we'll continue with whatever we want to ask. Now that being out of the way, we can come here, which is where we'll do our flight plan. So initially in MSFS you do all the flight planning here, but this is aerofly, so we're going to have to go back, click on fuel and load. I like to go very heavy, so I'm maxing everything, and then I go back, I continue with the flight plan here. All right, so after that, all you need to do to impute everything on this button is just keep clicking all the buttons. Somehow that works for aerofly. I don't think that works in real life though, but yeah, it works for aerofly. So as you can see, anything I click just comes on like that. Now you have the weight 79.3% heavy. That's how heavy we are. Now for the reserve should be 2.0. Yeah, that's fine. Cost of index should be about 35 or 20. Okay, 20 is fine. All right, so is this high enough? Probably. All right, so we'll come here as well. Let's just do everything. Get rid of that, delete that. Wait, clear. So I want to do this. Wait, I'm clicking on another button. Yeah, that's what we want to do. So we'll click on N1. Ooh, I think I have to go back though. Let's come back to pref init. Let's exec this so that it can populate our takeoff details for us. So we're going to exec that right here. You can see my clicks, right? So you can see my click, you can see wherever I click. I use that all the time so that anybody can learn. Anyways, N1 limit, we'll click on that. SEL, you just click that soft key by the side and it just populates itself. So we're going to go to takeoff page now. Flaps, I like to do flaps 5, and as you can see again, everything just comes alive. So the aircraft trims itself automatically. That's the sound you just hear. That's the sound of the trim. So we're going to press all this button for V1, VR2 and VR. So VR of 158 is actually our rotate, and V2 of 159 is what we are going to be adding on our MCP. So we'll come here and we add 159 by rotating this thing. You can see everything. I got frustrated, it was taking too long. I'm joking. All right, so remember the altitude we saw, which is our cruising altitude, is flight level 270, right? That is what we're going to put here. So that's 27,000. Oh, too much. So that is somewhere around here. So that is somewhere around here. All right, so now that we have set all of this, there's something called flight directors. Without our flight directors, you can't actually turn on your VNAV and LNAV, right? You can do those on the ground. So for your flight directors, we're going to turn this on, and we're going to come to the other side and turn this on, because if you turn it on one side, it will cause your it will affect your course and frequency, so they will not be perfectly aligned, especially for auto land, right, in a situation where you need it. So your flight directors, both of them have to be on. Now you can actually turn on your VNAV and LNAV, as you can see. All right, so your autopilot, your auto throttle can come on now, not necessarily, but it can come on. Your auto throttle doesn't really engage itself until airspeed is alive, if that makes any sense, right?
Are you sure?
But yeah, that's it about that. So what is left to do now? This might be a lot to somebody who doesn't actually fly much, but what is left to do now, because this is a 737-800, it's not the max, so we're going to have to do cabin pressure by ourselves. So we're bringing it up to 27,000 feet as well. That's too much. Yeah, right here. So that is done. Now what we're going to do is, I believe we've turned off the APU, so we can turn off APU bleeds as well. What else is there to do? Yeah, basically nothing. So I'm going to have to turn on all these lights now and start our pushback. So for the pushback, you just push this button here for aerofly here to start pushback. Unlike MSFS, you don't need that. As you can see, the thing just appeared. Now I'm going to actually throttle the pushback by myself. So I hold the up key to make sure the thing starts pushing us back. Now I am also in control of this. So if I look to my side here, this is where we're going to be exiting from. That being said, I can just turn from this side. Am I turning the right way? I don't think I'm turning the right way. Okay, you know what? This pushback is enough. So we can actually just stop. Right, we can just stop, and now we're at the runway, and I kind of made a mistake, and then I clicked on this button right here, and on aerofly it will kind of just try to skip the flight for you. I don't know why that is a feature, it's weird. But anyways, again, let me just open this up, which would make, why are we here? That's weird. That's very, very weird. So I can just go turn around though. All right, so I was saying, now we're at the right runway with everything that we've said is set. So what is left to do now, I don't know, is our taxi light is on, which is here, and runway light is on as well, and then landing light is on. So if landing light is on, we don't need the taxi light, we can turn that off. What we need right now is all this other light. Our strobe light is already on. So for some reason, in case you don't know, these are the wipers. So you turn that one on, you turn this one on as well, so you can take those off again. I just wanted to show you guys, right? So I've actually never used that in any sim before. Why? It has just never been something I needed to use. Anyways, everything is set. I don't think there are any more warning signs on either side. Okay, so that's fine. Now what we're going to do is get our course and frequency, right?
Okay.
now the course and frequency is something you use when you're about to land. So what we can get those from here. So this is our runway for arrival, which is ILS 05, right? So our course is 111.55. I mean, that's our frequency. The course is 047. The course should actually be 050 actually. So we're just going to do that to be more accurate and center line. So 0, yeah, right there, 055 is fine. So we're going to do that on the other side as well. 050. I keep saying something thinking I am saying the right thing. So 050 right there. Now for our frequency, right? Yeah, for our frequency, I think, what did we see? We saw 111, right? 111 dot what? I don't know. I lost it. So let's just look at that again. So we saw 111.55. all right, so let's add that now. 111.55. now we'll push this button to bring that up. This is actually fine. This is as much as you need to do here, but I just like to change it up here so that everything looks fine. All right, 55, and just have it there. Now we're going to do the same thing here. 111.55, switch it up. 111.55, right? So I just like to leave it there so it's very clean. Okay, now moment of truth. Let's take off. So first thing to do is okay, we're all good now. So one thing we're going to do is add throttle. Now on aerofly, if you're using a gamepad, this is your throttle. So if I push it up, you can see the engines here that they are actually populating. So while that is loading, you can see the aircraft starts moving. For some reason, the throttle on aerofly when you're using a gamepad moves very slowly. It's actually very, very annoying, right? But without the gamepad, it's actually way faster. But anyways, we'll use what we get. So our V1 is 15. I've forgotten. But we can just check that right here. So our V1 is 15. I mean, our rotate. Our V1 is 151. Our rotate is 158, right? So then we, at about 400 feet, we can. Well, we just left the center line. So about 400 feet, we can actually turn on the autopilot. So this is 130, 140. We can see the end of the runway. This is 150, 1V1 and rotate. All right, so we're going to gently. That was too much. Why? That was actually too much. So we can keep tapping it gently like that and bring the gears up. Right, now we can turn on autopilot. No, let's not do that right now. Let's wait a bit. Right, so we can begin our turn to the side. We can hand fly this a little bit though. That's not the problem. All right, so now let's start bringing up the flaps, which you can do by pushing these buttons right here. So that's exactly what I am doing. Bringing the flaps,
Too low.
bringing
Gear.
the flaps.
Bank angle. 400.
Right, I am being a terrible pilot. So let's bring
Too
this
low.
back
Gear.
up.
Too low. Terrain.
Was I banking that much? I didn't notice.
Too low. Gear. Too
All
low.
right, so
Terrain.
there's actually no problem. We'll be fine. Our auto
Too low.
throttle just
Terrain.
went off for some reason. All right, so the auto throttle just came back on. So what we're going to do right now is turn on autopilot, and that will just level the whole flight, and we can continue on our cruise. So this, the reason you're getting the sound you're hearing is because the aircraft is approaching a stall. But a stall is actually not possible, right? Because we have enough airspeed. So, well, it's closing into not being enough, if that makes any sense. But yeah, we're approaching, we're kind of too steep on our climb, but I'm not really bothered by it, because I can actually just watch it, and if it becomes too much, I can switch things up a bit and just turn things around. So what I can do right now is just turn off the autopilot, turn off auto throttle, and just bring the nose down of the aircraft, right? So if you bring the nose down, that sound just automatically stops, right? So now I can bring the autopilot back on and auto throttle on as well. So right now, the reason we're still getting that sound is because we're under 200 knots of speed. By the time we go higher and we're actually fine, all those sounds just goes down. And I don't know why the aircraft is pushing up too much. It's actually pushing up way too much, right? But like I said, when it gathers enough airspeed, it will just be fine. The view here is not that bad. We're actually in danger and we're enjoying the view. That's very funny. So this sound is actually a bad thing. So what I'll do right now is hand fly the aircraft by myself and just turn on autopilot later when I am sure that the aircraft can actually handle itself. So I'm going to push the throttle all the way up. We just got a little bit of that and mind our rates of climb. Alright, so we're basically fine now, but we're closing in on the ground. The alarm is going to stop very soon, right? The moment we go very high, that sound is going to stop. So yeah, for some reason that is still happening. So right now our climb is actually very fine, and that's because I am trying to like hand fly the thing by myself. But other than that, we're actually very fine. So what I'm going to do right now is let's see. So this is at 4,000 feet. Right now I can actually bring back the auto throttle and autopilot right here. Alright, now I don't think the aircraft is going to pitch itself too much again. For some reason it's just pitching itself too much. So this is what I will do here. This is what you should do in any case like this. You can click on vertical speed right here and reduce that, right? Ooh, I'm increasing it. So you can reduce that to 2,000, right? 2,000 is fine. Now when you reduce it to 2,000, it can bend a bit, so it's not all the way here now, it's actually here now. Now one thing I don't understand is why the aircraft is losing speed, but there is a factor that could cause that. We are very heavy, like we're extremely heavy, so I'm going to have to turn autopilot off again and auto throttle and keep hand flying until we get to our supposed our cruising altitude, which is actually very, very boring, to be honest. It's so boring, right? But yeah, it's what we have to do. So yeah, I'm going to just stay here until the alarm goes out. For some reason we're actually descending. So again, as you can see, the speed is rising. So at 195 the alarm stops, and at 200 we're actually fine, but we're still descending. So we're over 6,000 feet now. I don't see any need to have the landing lights on anymore, so let's just turn that off. Landing lights are off, runway lights are also off. Okay, so what else is there to do? Nothing. The only thing now is hand flying the aircraft, which is actually really boring because I just have to keep watching it until the aircraft is like kind of stable, which I don't really enjoy. I don't think anybody enjoys it. So yeah, that's it about that. From henceforth, let's just continue. Alright, so along the flight, when you start seeing this yellow thing here, all you need to do is click on this, hold this, and take it up. That goes away. All right, so we're going to do it on the other side. Hold this, take it up, and that also goes away. So we are still here. Let's turn off vertical speed since we don't really need it. It doesn't work for us anyways. So the target now is very simple. Let's get up to 30,000 feet, and then we'll turn on autopilot. All right, so as you can see, we're missing our flight plan, so I'm going to bank to the side a little and pitch down a little as well. So banking to the side kind of aligns me with the flight plan again. So I'm going to take my banking back to neutral and just stay here. Alright, so at above 12,000 feet, what I want to do right now is try turning on the autopilot again. Right, so let's first of all turn on auto throttle and then turn on autopilot. Let's leave this on again and turn on autopilot. Let's see if the autopilot is going to be very nasty towards the vertical speed. I think we're fine now though. I mean, we have like 251 nautical speed, and I don't think it's climbing anymore. So let's just hold on to that and let's go straight to landing. Alright, so we're somewhere in our cruising altitude. What we have to do right now is reduce our speed down to the last altitude before we plan our approach. So as we can see here, it's 3,000 feet, so we're going to have that here. We'll come here, we'll take it down to 3,000. right? Let's do that right. Yeah, we can actually do 3,100, no big deal, but 3,000 is ideal. Now that being done, that's actually fine. We don't need any other thing. Now we'll have to arm our speed brake. We'll just click on this, and then we also set our auto brakes, which is right here. So we're going to take that we have started descending, that's why the engines are going down. So auto brakes on 3. You can't do max on auto brake. If you do max on auto brake, what that means is the moment you touch down, the aircraft auto brake is going to try to stop the aircraft vigorously, and what you're going to get is heated up brakes, and it's going to damage the aircraft in real life, right? So this is good for practice. Don't do max, just do 3. 2 is actually fine depending on the runway, but 3 is the best. It's as far as you can go. So auto brakes is set, speed brake is armed. So we're going to start bringing flaps when we get to as low as under 10,000 feet. All right, so that being said, let's just continue. All right, so exactly under 7,000 feet, what we'll do next right here is turn on our landing lights, right, and just have everything ready for landing. Let's also turn on the seatbelt signs. So cabin crew, prepare for landing, please. Let's turn on runway lights. We don't really need runway lights since it's not night time, but let's just have that there, no big deal. All right, so according to what I can see here, we're going to go down and turn into the runway. Why is our feet showing 1,200 feet? I thought I did 3,000. Wait. Let's be very sure what is going on here. It says 3,000 here. Okay, let's see the final altitude on approach here. It says 3,000. Look, man, let's just stay with 3,000. I don't know why he actually went up to, went down in this case to 1,200. Okay, so we're right here. Let's start bringing in our flaps now. So we can actually change this again. Remember, I told you If you see that thing on yellow, just change it. Usually changing it on one side is enough. So now I'm going to start bringing in flaps to slow this aircraft down. So again, we're using this button right here to bring in flaps on aerofly, right? So I'm going to click on that. You can see the flaps moving. Click on that again and click on that again. Now we stay on flaps 5 until we arm our localizer. Yeah, so we'll stay on flaps 5. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so what else is left to do? I don't think there's anything left to do. Let me be sure. According to our checklist, let me see. According to our checklist, here, so we have approach speed, check. Approach ILS and course, set. Approach button not yet armed because we're not there yet. Speed brakes armed. Auto brakes as required. Flaps not yet, but everything we need to do is basically fine. I am let's see. So from here I can turn on localizer. You can see where I am clicking, right? That which is the essence for why my pointers are showing, so that you can see where I am clicking. So I can go flaps 10 now. Oh, I can't. So let's stay with flaps 5 and turn back autopilot. So okay, we can't do flaps 10 yet. We have to stay with flaps 5. No biggie. We'll see what we are doing. All right, so we're banking, we're following the curve now on our flight plan to basically just turn into the runway. So the moment we hear 2,500, I'm going to be gearing down. Right, I'm going to be gearing down, which I believe is something we're going to be hearing very, very soon. All right, our localizer is on. Can I do flaps 10 now?
Nope.
No, I can't. So let's stay with flaps 5. For some reason, I thought I should be able to do flaps 10 now. I really thought I should be able to do flaps 10 now. All right, so the one thing is this aircraft is not slowing down. I don't like this speed. This is too much. Our approach speed is actually here. We can see that from here. So we can go to here. We can see it at 40 to 140. And it's also showing here. Right? So it's right there and it's right here. Right, but this aircraft is too fast and I don't like it. Let's see, can we add the flap now? No, we can't. Why? I really don't know why. All right, so at this point now we should arm our approach. Let's do that now. So this button down here, you're going to see me click it. That's our approach. So now approach is armed and glide slope is intercepted immediately. Right. So this should be fun. The clouds are not letting me see clearly. This is a 737. Landing the 737 is just a little hard for one reason. It's not big, so yeah, you tend to be a little paranoid. Anyways, we're down here right now trying to aim for the runway. I can actually see the runway right now. I can see the puppy lights. I think we're too high, but that's fine. We got this. Can we add flaps 10 now? Why can't I add flaps 10 though? No, you know what? I'm turning this auto throttle off as well. Like, go away. I don't trust any of you anymore. Let's add us some flaps. I mean, the runway is right there. So you can actually see our flaps indicator right here. So I need to add some flaps. Let's go ahead, reduce the speed as much as we can and add some flaps. Right. That is telling me that the flaps is too much, but I refuse to accept that. So we're at flaps 30. Now we're at flaps 40. Right, so now we just focus on the runway and get a beautiful landing. Our gears are still high because why not? Okay, I am not sure which one is the runway. Is it this one or the next one? It's actually both. Okay, so if we have both for our runway, which one exactly are we landing on? I don't know, right? Sometimes these things are just weird. Let's see. Okay, we're landing on the first one. Cool. All right, so let's continue here. And just, you see, we're actually too high. So let's go ahead and reduce our speed and just aim for that runway right there. All right, so coming up now. I don't like seeing this thing. I just don't like it. I'm an enemy. I'm like a big enemy of it. Okay, so still going down. We're off course a little. Let's make sure we're on course. Let's try to understand that runway. Okay, so it's right on the other side of the pappy light. Yeah, let's stay here. So yeah, gears coming down now. Nice. And tilt down a bit. I think we're too high. What am I looking at? Oh, I don't like this. All right, so let's turn a bit. Yeah, our pappy light is acting fine now. Add more speed because we're going to be raising our nose now. We want to be neutral now. So remember, our approach speed is 1.4. Our approach speed, I'm trying to focus on the landing. Our approach speed is 144 or 140. Right, so I'm just trying to focus on that. Are we still descending? I don't think so. Is that an aircraft heading for me? That's weird. Why? That's very weird. That's like really weird. So our gears are down, auto brakes are set, flaps are set, speed brakes are armed. Okay, I can see that now. All right, so let's go ahead and get a wonderful landing here. 1,000 here. Autopilot has been off for a long time now. So yeah, we are fine. That's another aircraft. Is that aircraft going around, or does it have similar flight plan like I do? In real life, that aircraft might give us a little bit of wind shear. Just a little bit. Right? Just a little bit. Let's add more speed here. Let's add more speed here. Alright, so we're 700 feet here. The aircraft all of a sudden feels very slow. Alright, we're at 640, 620. Ooh, we're very much off course. We're very much off course. Very much. Let's make sure we're on course. Alright, I think we're fine now. Not really. Let's add some more turn right there and try to get a wonderful touchdown here. Right. So this is where skills matters. Yeah, you need to understand how to calculate your glide slope. Right. Honestly, I can teach that, but it's a little complicated. Right. It's a little complicated in the sense that your glide slope matters a lot, and if you're not careful, you mess it up just by trying to align yourself with the center line, which is what I am actually fighting right now. I think there's a degree of wind in my case though, because I'm feeling like a push to the side. It's weird, but yeah, that is in fact happening. I'm fine though. We're fine. Now we're in the center line. We can start reducing our speed very much, and also start going down. 300 here. We're actually too high.
Plus 100.
Ooh, we've lost the center line completely. We've lost the center line completely.
Glide slope.
Glide slope warnings are coming on.
50.
Alright, 50,
40.
40,
30.
30,
20.
20 here. Ooh, we're off the center line by a lot. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. We're actually down on the ground. That was a terrible landing. That was very, very bad. So if I would give any form of excuse, it's simple. I don't know what happened towards the landing. The autopilot just wouldn't come on. It just wouldn't come on. So my approach was 0, I think from like 4,000 feet away. Anyways, we made it down on one side, which is really bad. Over time you get to better your landing and all, but the touchdown was overall good. All right, so at this point all we need to do is bring back our speed brakes from here and bring that back, and then we can start reducing, bringing back our flaps. So you can see the flap indicator right here, and you can also see the flaps right here. As you can see, it's all the way up. Nice. So what else is there to do? Remove auto brakes. It has done its best, right? And then we can turn off all these ones right here. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. All that is left is to just taxi out and end the whole video. So I don't think there's any need to like vacate the runway and all. I don't think anybody needs to see that. What you just got is a full flight tutorial for 2026 on Aeroflight, and that we just did. So thank you guys very much for watching. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, and remember, Jesus loves you. It's hard to be a Christian, but it's possible, right? Because we have the grace of God. That being said, see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.
I be
Peace.
searching.